Hey there, and welcome to A Well-Rounded Life, the podcast, a space for creative entrepreneurs seeking an intentional life and biz filled with grace, passion, and purpose. I'm your host, Jamira. I'm a mama, wife, dessert fanatic, and on the ultimate mission to get you closer to your idea of what it means to live a well-rounded life. Right here is where you'll find curated resources, quick tips, and relatable stories, no matter what season of life you're in. So hang out with me for a bit and let's dive in. What's up, well-rounders? Jamira here, and I am looking forward to today's conversation with my friend Terrica. If you do not know Terrica, where have you been? Because you have been missing out. She is just so much fun, and I love our conversations. Not only is Terrica just so much fun to be around, she is a wealth of information and someone that I have always admired in the wedding and events space. Terrica and I talk all about the importance of being authentic, speaking up, and just being and owning who you are. And if you are feeling some type of way that maybe you just don't fit in, or maybe you need to change or adjust because people are telling you you need to do that, no. Terrica lets us know why we just need to show up exactly how we are and own it and be excited about the person that we are on the inside. Before we get into the interview, I just want to remind you to screenshot, let us know that you are listening in, tag me, I'm at Coach for Creatives, or Terrica, she is at Cocktail Terrica on Instagram. We would love to connect with you and say hi, so make sure you tag us, let us know you are listening in. Also, want to make sure that you are subscribed to the podcast. We have a dope season ahead, and I do not want you to miss anything at all. So hit that subscribe button, make sure you give us that 5-star rating, and we would love and appreciate a review. All right, guys, so I am going to get into Terrica's official bio so that we can bring her to the mic and have some fun. Spreading her metropolitan style throughout the Lowcountry, Terrica has been creating exquisite weddings and events in the Golden Isles area for the past 15 years. Specializing in modern Southern weddings, she believes in creating custom experiences inspired by her clients' love stories while infusing technology and efficiency. A contributing board member of the Northern American Academy of Weddings and Event Planning, Terrica's weddings and expertise have been featured in The Knot, Reader's Digest, Martha Stewart Weddings, HLN-TV, Style Me Pretty, and a host of others. In addition to leading a rockstar team at her planning and design firm, she also owns The White Lounge, a contemporary wedding planning studio for couples and wedding professionals. A wavemaker nominated for Honeybook's 20 on the Rise and a current educator with The Knot and Wedding Wire, she launched her new wedding industry education system, Here Comes the Brand. Terrica is an ardent educator of those in the wedding industry, also hosting the She Doesn't Even Go Here podcast. And as an avid lover of cake and champagne, you'll find her at home in the Golden Isles with her 4 Fabutots. And when not entertaining family and friends, she's frequently binging on RuPaul's Drag Race and Game of Thrones. Take it from me, she's pretty dope, and you already know this is going to be a fun interview. So let's welcome Terrica to A Well-Rounded Life. Terrica, welcome to A Well-Rounded Life. How are you?
Hey, girl. Hey, how are you? I'm good.
I'm good. It's just so great to catch up with you. We were just sharing how life is in the midst of the pandemic.
Yes. As a mom, you still need Target breaks in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we were talking about sneaking our Chick-fil-A and things so to ourselves. It's the little things.
The little things that keep you sane. Absolutely.
Right. So before we get into the interview, do me a favor and introduce yourself to our well-rounders.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, guys. My name is Terrica. I am a wedding planner, designer, mom, daughter, cat wrangler, drag queen enthusiast,
Love it.
Game of Thrones, trivia aficionado. I'm all the things to the people who love me most. I try not to be everything to everybody, but I am all the things to the people who love me most. My business is based out of coastal Georgia, but as we are now in the zombie apocalypse, you can find me at home or on Zoom or on Instagram, and most recently, everybody's new favorite addiction, Clubhouse.
Hey there. So I wanted to jump in and tell you about a bundle deal that you don't want to miss. For just a few more days, grab the profitable Pro Bundle featuring over 30 educators for $99. Yes, for $99, you will have access to a vault of educational courses, resources, and trainings taught by some of the best in the wedding industry. When I was asked to be included in the bundle, I jumped at the chance because I wanted access just like you. I've been loving the content inside of the bundle, and I know you will as well. So head over to bit.ly/JamiraPPB. Again, that's bit.ly/JamiraPPB, all lowercase, and check out all of the details. The details are also in the show notes and on our website. The Profitable Pro bundle disappears on March 5th, so let's get to it. And I will see you inside of the bundle, friend. Yes, you are everything, and we love you dearly. And you guys, if you are not following Terrica, you are missing out.
Oh, thank you.
Make sure you're following her on Instagram, and she hosts some amazing rooms in Clubhouse. And if you are listening, make sure you screenshot and tag me at Coach for Creatives. And Terrica, you are what on Instagram?
I am Cocktail Terrica on Instagram.
See, that says enough right there. Terrica on Instagram. So let us know that you are hanging out with us. And so, Terrica, I was just telling you, as always, how much I've admired you from day one, your confidence and just how you show up as your authentic self. And my first question is, have you always been as confident as you are now?
No, absolutely not. I think I was this confident when I was maybe 5 or 6 or so. The confidence I had then I definitely had as a child, but a lot of that kind of gets whittled away as you get older, especially as a little girl, and you hear, that's not for you, or you can't do that, or, all of the things. And then as I got older, I began to be extremely proud of myself and my accomplishments and the things that I was able to do, not only just as a woman, but as a mother and in all of the things that I get to be to people. So while I wasn't always this confident, it was always within me. And so when I did get that re-up, I guess you could say, it was not hard to fall back on at all. But, Jamira, we all lose our way every now and then. We always have those moments where we're like, is this really me? Or I can't do it type of thing. But it's always within us. I definitely believe that.
Yes, I totally agree. And it's interesting, even at that young age, you said 5 or 6, and we were discussing our names and how unique our names are. And I remember growing up, never correcting people on how to pronounce my name. I've been called a whole lot of different things beside my name.
I can really imagine. Besides everything but your name.
Right. Mm-hmm. You've probably been T. Mm-hmm. I've been G. And I'm fine with G because, just keep it moving, G. But Geomira is not my name.
No.
Terrica is not your name.
Oh my God, that makes my teeth itch so bad. Oh my gosh. No. Do not call me Terrica, Teresa, Terissa. Tamika is so many things. I can remember being in high school and one of the nuns was like, I'm just going to call you terracotta because that's as close as I can get. And your skin is just like terracotta. And wow, I'm still supposed to be in detention for the things that I said that day. But yeah, no, this is my name. This is absolutely my name. So yeah, I can remember speaking at conferences, and Jamie Quickert loves to tell the story, but she was like, oh, I have to introduce you. How do I pronounce your last name? And I said, you don't. So professionally, I just go by my first name. You will learn how to, it's not hard. It's just like America. It's not hard at all. So I go by my first name. My daughter has my name. I was named after my father. So my name is very important to me. And that's something that I've always instilled in my children from, I guess, my own experiences, that you have to get people's names right. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, I can't remember your face. No, get their names right, because someone's name is something that was given to them. It was bestowed upon them. And it is the one thing that is given to you that nobody else can take away from you. So you have to get people's names right. So my children know I am super adamant about that.
No, I love that. And I'm named after my parents, George Myra. So now that my mother is no longer here, the name means more to me than ever. And so I totally get that. That I'm named after my mom in some capacity, and your daughter is named after you. And I think that's, that's awesome. You see it with men, but you hardly see
Mhm.
it, with females. So
Everybody said that. They're like, you never see a woman do that. And I'm like, well, it is me. So,
I would
of
do it
course.
anyway.
And listen, if I spent 22 and a half hours trying to bring that child in the world, you damn right she's going to have my name. So,
I love
absolutely.
it.
Absolutely.
No, I love it. And I also I'm just Terrica. Just like I know there aren't many Jemiras, so if you see my name,
You know
you know it's
exactly who it
me.
is. Yeah. Don't worry about the last
I'm
name.
not Beyonce Oprah, but yeah, I'll
You know
take
exactly who it
it.
is.
But look,
Exactly.
we'll take it. So you are an industry vet, you're an educator, you're very much sought after speaker. And we both know, after being in the wedding industry for a quadrillion years, that it can be cutthroat.
Is it? Oh my gosh.
Right? And so, from your experiences, what have you found that other creatives struggle with when it comes to being transparent and speaking up, as we just talked about a little bit?
You know what it is, Jamira? It is. You remember that scene from Carrie where the mom comes in and she's like, they're going to laugh at you. They're going to laugh at you. That's what people feel like. They feel like they're not going to be accepted, that they have to fit the status quo, when honestly, there is no status quo. If our clients are coming to us for innovation and creativity, why the hell are you trying to squeeze in and try to be like everyone else? They are coming to you because they want you. There are so many things, within this industry, you have so many different roles, and so many of us do the same thing. You know what I mean? Well, you put it side by side, you take the logos away, you pull out the bullet points of lists, we all do the same thing. And what makes it different is how it is delivered, how it is presented, how it is packaged, how it is produced. So that is our personalities. That is who we are as people. So if you don't showcase this, then, you are doing a great disservice to your clients, to your brand, and to yourself.
I love that you make a great point that people are hiring you to do something different, to take it up a notch, take it to the next level. So it's important to align with someone that is bold and confident and can be an innovator, and not someone that's just doing, like you said, the status quo and certain things. That makes perfect sense.
Absolutely.
When you really break it down, the importance of just doing something different and not being like everybody else, and being excited about that. Like, I am not like that person at all.
Exactly. And, whether it is yourself as an OBGYN, or you are a lawyer, or you are, a person in the wedding industry, your client has to resonate with you. They have to see themselves in you. There has to be a level of trust there. And if you still have this mask on and they don't know who they're dealing with, then there isn't going to be a lot of professional intimacy there, I guess you can say, to the point where anything productive is going to happen. So you really do have to be yourself, because when you aren't yourself, you run the risk of attracting all the wrong people to you.
So true. Everybody versus niching down and getting your people, your tribe, people that, should be paying for all the amazingness that you offer.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep, right. And so with your self-confidence, have you encountered people that have felt that you are too bold or too loud or just too much in general?
Every single day. Like, this is the woman who last year literally came out to her speaking engagement on a litter carried by 6 men. So
I remember that. Yeah.
when people say things like, oh, your name is so pretty, what does it mean? And I'll joke and I'll say it's French for too much. And everybody will get, a good kiki out of that.
I love it.
I am often told, oh my gosh, or I've heard, she's just way too. And you fill in whatever adjective that you want. And I say, thank you. Or they'll say, oh, you're the most. And sometimes it's always something that's very derisive, or it's not very nice when they say, oh, you're the most arrogant. You are the most flamboyant. You are the most, the loudest thing. And I don't take it negatively. And it kind of throws people off when I say thank you, because they'll say that wasn't a compliment. And I'm like, oh, I don't care how you threw it. I'm going to tell you how I caught it.
I love it.
Because I'm going to tell you how I caught it. Because when you say I am the most, what you're saying is that you haven't seen anything bigger or better than me, that I am doing it the best and the highest way it is. So thank you. I will definitely take that. But I've heard that all of the time. We talked about this in the Clubhouse room. I think it was last week when someone said, you have a lot of people who are intimidating. And, when they speak or when they teach. And I had to ask this person, I need you to retrain yourself. Am I intimidating or are you intimidated?
A word.
Listen.
Yeah, that's a word, man. Look, good shout off of that.
Because I can't do anything about how you receive me. Okay, I am responsible for what I say, not what you understand or how you feel when you hear me say it. So I am not going to stop being me at all. If you're intimidated, then, I apologize. And that's between you and your God. And I hope you work it out. But I am proud of who I am. And I am proud of the things that I do. I am direct. I am assertive. I'm also compassionate. I'm also very kind. But I speak loudly and I carry a big stick. I don't speak quietly and I speak loudly and I carry a big stick. So, I don't worry about what people say anymore. You know what I mean? One time I was speaking at a big industry conference and there were some older ladies in the crowd and they were like, oh, she was really great. She was awesome. But then it got back to me that they said in the review, no less, she was amazing, but her dress was way too tight. And I was like, oh, if that's the worst thing you can say about me,
I'll take it.
I will take it.
Yeah.
But I don't care what anybody says about me. I've had 4 babies with this body. I sling it all around and in the gym and bust it up and all of those things too. I don't care what anybody thinks about me because I like me. And it is not going to, I do more than like me. I love me. And there's not one person in this city, county, state, hemisphere, galaxy that's ever going to change the way that I feel about me. Absolutely not. So, what you think about me is none of my business. And I think that's something that a lot of people have to get. They're so worried about being seen with the in crowd, being, getting 1,000 likes on Instagram, getting 100,000 followers on Instagram. And that's cute. But baby, tell me, do you like you? Do you love you? At the end of the day, if Instagram got shut off, would you be okay? Or are you constantly looking for someone to validate you as if you are a parking ticket? So it really comes down to you being extremely confident and loving and forgiving and gracious to yourself in this industry. Because like you said, this industry is cutthroat. This industry is so hard. This industry is cliquish. This industry is very catty. So if there is no one else that you can depend on, it has to be you. So you have to come into it knowing who you are, what you stand for, what your boundaries are, what you will put up with and what you won't put up with. And I think that that's crucial for anything in life, both personal and in business.
Listen, I just took a whole bunch of notes and quotes because in full transparency here too, is that I've heard from some people like, oh, people are intimidated by myself because of how I show up in the world and on social media. But it never clicked until you just said it. Like, am I intimidating? Because that's not me. And if you know me, just like I know you, we are caring, we are compassionate, and we will do anything for anybody all day, every day. But I think sometimes people see the glitz, the glam. You and I will read a similar style. If I got it, I'm gonna flaunt it type of thing. Don't do that because you can't, And so, yeah, I've heard that people are like intimidated sometimes by people's successes or how they show up. But I'm like, there are no rules. You can too.
You can do this too. Absolutely.
Right. However, like show up if that's what you want to do and not care what anybody else thinks about
absolutely
how you're showing up. If that's who you are and what you want to do, roll with it and be okay with that.
There it is.
And so I love that quote. And then the point of, do you like you?
Yes.
Like, if not, then how are you going to go about changing it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like how you show up on social media? Do you feel like it's like, do an inventory? Legit, look at your social media if you're listening and say, okay, is this authentically my voice?
Yes.
Is this really me? Or is it just pretty for the gram or pretty for my blog? When you really want to drop a couple F-bombs, if you really want to, say it like you mean it, who cares? Like, do it. And
be you, because again, you are going to be attracting all of the wrong people to you. And that gets exhausting having to carry that. You know what I mean? You have to, you're wearing 2 different personas. You have to make sure that, like you said, you're saying it the right way, you're doing it the right way, when all alone, you just want to sit down and just relax. And everybody should feel very comfortable in being themselves. And, if you can't, you have to examine why do I feel so much pressure to be something that I'm not? Who told you that you weren't enough? Let's start there. Who told you that you weren't enough? And it has to stem way before the client that rejected the proposal, the venue that said, I'm not going to put you on the preferred vendor list. At some point, somebody told you that you weren't enough and you had to pretend to be something else, or that it wasn't safe enough for the real you to come out. So start there. Start there. Because then what's going to happen is that you're going to stop worrying about what the hell I'm wearing on stage. And you're going to be worrying about confronting some of those things that you have to deal with. So start there. Who told you you weren't enough? And then recognize how that was the biggest lie. I don't even care what the answer is to that question. Who told you you weren't enough? It doesn't matter. It was a lie. It was absolutely a lie. And it has been a lie that you have been believing for months, years, decades, or whatever. And that lie has permeated itself with the way that you carry yourself, with the clothes that you've selected, with the music that you listen to, with the people that you decided to associate yourself with. And you are doing this entire world such a huge, huge misstep by not allowing us to meet and know the real you. So that's where I think people really need to start at. You really got to get at the heart of it and figure out, confront it. Because I love it when they say, if you have something that triggers you, that is a wound that needs to be healed. If you see something that you don't like or that seriously upsets you, that is telling you whatever it is that you thought you were over, you ain't quite dealt with that yet. You have to deal with that. And it's not something that you're going to be able to skip over. It is not a Netflix episode that you're going to be able to just read the description and skip to the next one because you don't like it. It's not a song that you can mute and wait for it to go off. You have to deal with it. You definitely have to deal with it. And I guess in part, this is where I can't say my newfound confidence, but how Stella got her groove back, how Terrica got her groove back. I had to confront a lot of things. Yes. Where I had to figure out where was the lie that I believed that I wasn't enough or that I wasn't good enough. And when you confront that, you will see how that has affected you in so many different roles, not only as a woman or a man or as a non-binary person, but as a professional, as a parent, as a spouse, as a caregiver, as a sibling, as a friend. And when you confront that, then you take its power back. Then you take the power back from that lie. And then you can rebuild yourself as to who you know that you are. But they say hurt people. Mm-hmm. And that is extremely true. And people who are constantly feeling like they are living under the pressure of a microscope are constantly judging other people as well, because it's lonely under there. It's lonely being that ant burning under the sun and that under that magnifying glass. So, you got to break free from that. And it's not anything that I can do for you. It's not anything that you can do for them. It's something that you have to do for yourself. If you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, you got to figure out where the lies were told. And if you are ready to stop believing them.
No, that's so good. And just so much in that you just said, no, about hurt people. Absolutely. And the people that have time to sit around and judge you and say whatever, like, go find something to do.
Please. Because, it's something that I have always heard all of my life. Being too much and then at the same time, not enough. You know what I mean? Still feeling like you have to do so much more all at the same time. And it is a tireless and exhausting existence. And it is a conundrum that leaves up so much open space for comparison. Because if I'm not enough, then so-and-so is. And then how am I different from them? And then if we're different, then I can't be good because I'm different from them. And everybody thinks that that's the best. And then that is when your own self-love and your respect starts to get to whittle away as well. So I completely agree with you there.
And you just made me think about your pageant days and whatnot. And so in your experiences, being in the pageant world, do you feel like you got some confidence based off of that?
I do because, even then I was one of the few Black girls that competed back at that time. And I can remember, making the semifinals of one local pageant that was going to go on to nationals. And I had my favorite custom swimsuit that was made for me. And it was white and it looked amazing up against my complexion under the lights, which is why I had it made for me, and anybody who has ever dealt with pageants knows that it is a hard game and it is an expensive game. You get things that are cut and tailored to you so that you can look your best.
Mm-hmm.
So when they called all of the names for the semifinalists, we had to go backstage and then we had to do it all over again. We had to do swimsuit again. We had to do evening gown again. Then we had to do the final question. And Jemira, I go backstage and my white swimsuit has makeup all over it, like foundation, lipstick.
Oh my God.
Someone went through my stuff and just totally ruined it, not knowing I had a spare suit because that's just who I was as a person. So,
oh my gosh, my mouth is open.
me then had a spare suit. So they thought that I was just going to drop out and I wasn't going to continue, but I had a spare suit and I went on to become first runner up. But me now thinking back was like, girl, you should have wore that suit. You should have wore it with all the makeup on it. You should have wore it and walked out on that stage and said, I do not care. That's what me now would have done. Me back then was a good Girl Scout and I was prepared and I had a second suit, so it didn't matter. But me now would have gone out and just rocked the hell out of that swimsuit with everybody's disdain and jealousy all over it.
Man.
Absolutely. So it did prepare me for the ugliness that's in people. You get all of the great stuff, the public speaking, being very cordial and congenial to people. That's all very helpful too. But you see a very ugly nature, in pageants as well. And I think that prepared me very well for the politics of the world, for the jealousy of people too. So it prepared me in ways that I didn't think that I would need.
Man, that gave me a chill because, like you said, if looking back, if you would have worn the suit and been straight up like, let me tell you how these people really are.
Exactly.
That I'm competing against.
Exactly.
But let me let you see how I shine and I overcome adversity and all that by wearing the suit.
Yep.
But you had, it's also the planner in you. You always have a backup plan.
Yeah, it's right. It's right. It's right. But, it's so many things that, they say you have to pick your battles sometimes too. And I think that's one of the things that has taught me as well, that you have to, reveal your superpowers a little bit later. Sometimes you just don't waste them. Sometimes you have to be the lion to make them regret all of the times they didn't appreciate you when you were the lamb. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that has been the way that I have rolled too. I've always been a very quiet ally and a very, I won't say quiet ally, but I've always been someone that I will make a big noise when you aren't paying attention. So I think now that helped me grow from there too, from all of those experiences as well. Like if I'm not getting the reaction that I know I should be getting from people, then now it's time for me to get a little bit louder and make sure that you hear me.
Yeah, see me, hear me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm here. You ain't ignoring me. You are not going to ignore me. You know I'm here.
Yes. And so as an advocate for inclusion and diversity, you do a phenomenal job making it known that talent comes in all shapes, colors, and sizes.
Yeah.
And so why is the topic of inclusion so important to you?
Oh my gosh. As a Black woman, Malcolm X said the Black woman is the most disrespected person on the planet. And that is so very true. So very true. And the most disrespected, but yet still is the backbone of every single thing. You know what I mean? And my children are biracial and they have to deal with certain, things from both sides. And for me, I don't like it when people say I don't see color, because I think that's completely bullshit. If you don't see somebody's color, then you don't see them, because, what they are has made them. Me being a Black woman has a great effect on me as well. But I want my children to appreciate diversity and, the diversity that's in their family, the diversity that's in their schools, and the fact that my children get it, but the elders and the lawmakers in their communities don't get it irks me. The fact that I get it, and then the people or the powers that be that put together panels and educational groups and best of lists in my industry don't get it irks me. Or they get it behind closed doors, or they get it in places where there's no risk to them irks me. So I feel like it is very incumbent upon me to speak out, because there are often times where I am the only dot in the room. I'm the only one in the room.
Yes. There, yes.
And I said this before at the town hall last year, that there is an emotional and professional cost of making someone the only whatever it is in that room. There is so much that they have to carry. There may be so much disdain that they get from both sides. Well, who does she think she is? And she don't speak for us, or well, gosh, I guess she's their token hire or whatever. That's why she's here. And, we get it
yes.
from both sides, And you still have to show up. You got to be 10 times as good. Can't mess up. Got to be the best. Have to represent everybody well, because then it's like, if I don't, then they'll never have any of us back again. Or if I don't, then they will say, oh, we shouldn't have sent you, or we shouldn't have picked you. We could have picked somebody else, or I've done better. So it's exhausting from both sides. So I don't want to say I'm tired of having that particular conversation, but I want to get to a point where a conversation is no longer necessary, because there are so many different types of faces in different places, whether it is Black, white, Latino, Asian, our siblings in the LGBTQ arena as well. I feel like that there are so many different types of people that make up the tapestry of our community and our industry. It's a shame to just limit it to what people think is the norm of the blonde-haired, blue-eyed, lovey couple, blush and bashful, with the pampas grass and blush roses and all of those things too. So I'm very adamant about that, because honestly, I grew very tired of so many of our amazing works being ignored, or only being noticed when it was beneficial to someone else, or hearing things like, oh, we didn't know that so-and-so existed. We didn't know there were these photographers. We didn't know that, these makeup artists or these planners were here, as if Black people are a phenomenon that just popped up. Yes.
Out of nowhere. Oh, and especially on Black History Month or
right.
the movement, like your stock goes up during those seasons. Exactly. But no, you touched on so many great points that I do hope after the Black Lives Matter. I mean, we're still in the movement. I don't think it is going away, quote unquote, but I do hope it has opened people's eyes up to the talent all around us in all shapes, sizes, colors, location as well, because even with you working where you work, it's just very unique. Mm-hmm. And we have these big metro cities and areas, and there's talent everywhere. And I think that people just have to open their eyes and get out of their box. Yeah. Like literally it's, especially like you mentioned those vendor lists, and shake it up a bit.
Right. Absolutely. Because, we hear all of the time that, if you're not given a seat at the table, you have to make your own table. I guess that's true to a point, but what about this other table? You know what I mean? What about this other? We still have to continue to speak up. We still have to continue to advocate for ourselves, for each other. And it's like another lion analogy, until the lion learns how to write, every story will glorify the hunter. So until we start speaking up and we start telling our stories, when we start making people hear us, when we start standing up and making them pay attention, then it'll always be the quote unquote status quo, which is having another table is nice, where you are celebrated and where you are appreciated, but it doesn't change what's going on over at the other table. It doesn't add any additional seats to the other table. So
yeah, it's interesting because it always in the back of my head makes me think of like BET. Let's just use BET and ABC. Mm-hmm. It's like we all know why people of color have made like BET, because we weren't seen and we didn't have a platform. Right. So thank you, BET, for giving us the space and highlighting us. But you still also want to be on primetime ABC and NBC and all of the things. Absolutely. And why can't I be in both places and seen in both places and not feel like I'm stuck in a box just because these people look like me, when I feel I deserve to be in the mix with everybody. Everybody, yes. On all types of platforms. And so, yes, sometimes I think people assume that Black people, we have our stuff and we have our whatever, but we are just like you in a lot of other ways, and would like to be included in what you have going on, because we have a lot to offer that they untapped, that some people they just haven't even seen, what we're able to do and bring to the table. And it's hard work and it's exhausting work. And sometimes it's thankless work. And sometimes, there are little bitter arguments that take place in different factions. And that's equally exhausting as well. But we just can't stop there. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't make anything better for your daughter and your son. It doesn't do anything for my children as well. When we keep saying, well, we're just going to stop and we'll go over here. That doesn't make the world better. It doesn't do anything to us. And again, it's a lot of work, but we have to do it. We have to do it. We have to do it. That is so, so important. And so, Terrica, thinking back to when you first started your journey as an entrepreneur, what advice would you give yourself,
Mm.
knowing what you know now about just showing up just as you are?
Oh my gosh. To not stop and to not, honestly, everything that we talked about today, I went through three iterations of my company's name. A lot of people know from back in the day, I had my name stolen from me in a big
Yes.
trademark battle many years ago. But those were like phases of my life or who I was then. And if I was very true to myself then I feel like a lot of those iterations would not have happened. And it wasn't that I felt like I had to be someone else, but maybe I just didn't know exactly who I was. And most importantly, who I wanted to be someone to. I feel like if I had done the hard work and really looked at that, that would have made it a lot easier. And, I don't think at any point I've ever wanted to give up. And I think that that's very important too. Honey is one of the most cherished sweeteners in the world, like from the time it is curated to, its other elements, it's an amazing balm. And that's why its value is so high because of what it takes to get it made. And it's not just for the wondrous benefits that it creates, but also for the work it takes to create it. And you've got the bees who make the honey, right? So the bee doesn't get tired. The bee doesn't complain. The bee doesn't get distracted. The bee just does its job. And I think if I needed to tell myself back in the day something, I would tell myself that just focus on you and do your job. Even if it means you've got to make 1,000,001 trips to the hive for that 1 pound of awesomeness, do that and then charge a premium for that awesomeness. Stop selling yourself so short for so many things, and it takes a bee to get the honey out. So, sometimes you've got to be very tenacious. You've got to make 1,000 trips. You may have to use your stinger, but they are determined. They are protective. And, bees don't sting because they're hateful. They sting to protect their investment. So I would just go back and tell myself, it is okay to be exactly who you are. It is okay to grow slow. It is okay to be very tenacious. It is okay to charge a premium for your quote unquote honey. I think that is what I can say too. That if you really think about it, you think about who you are and what you want to do. Look at Michael Myers, Jamira. Like, he was slow. That man, Michael Myers had no damn reason to be that slow, right? Like, and the people that he was chasing had no reason to get caught. It's like, girl, just get up and go. What is wrong with you?
What is happening?
Even then, that's proof, right? Like, no matter how long it takes you, if you stay focused, you can kill a whole camp of horny teenagers if you want to. So just stay focused. Stay focused. Stay tenacious. Focus on you. And, I say this a lot in some of my talks, especially about, work-life balance, that they say that there are no elevators to success, that there's a staircase. And that's very true. I know when I climb a staircase and it's heavy, it's all about how fast you're going. It's about what you're carrying with you. It's about what type of shoes you have on. So you might get a little winded. Them thighs might burn, but you are working to get to the top. You're working on your staircase. So you don't need to be worried about what anybody else is doing. You know what I mean? You don't need to worry about anybody else's staircase or why do they not have as many flights in their staircase? Or, how come their steps are smaller? How come theirs are bigger? When you focus on your staircase, what's up at the top is going to be made especially for you. But when you do not mind the business that pays you, you will suffer every single time. Every single time.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And the point of they might not have as many steps as you, because we do look at people and say, well, they don't have as many challenges or they don't have all these things that we have, but their challenges may come later on, or
exactly,
you may have a testimony or something to share that may bless someone on your struggle or your journey. But definitely, as you said, just focus on you and do your job and be laser focused and not worrying about what anybody else is doing so you don't trip on the way up those steps.
Exactly. Be Michael Myers. That's right.
That's one, put that in their office. Be Michael Myers.
Be Michael Myers, yes.
I love it. And so we were just talking about Clubhouse, and I had peeked into a Clubhouse room where you were speaking the other day and you answered a question about the importance of setting boundaries. I think one of the ladies on the stage was talking about being friends with people and all the things. And so I have worked with clients, I've coached clients who have felt intimidated by their peers and their colleagues and the people around them. And they are like scared to speak up and set boundaries when it comes to people that are paying them or people that they feel like they compare themselves to.
Mm-hmm.
And so what has setting boundaries taught you about business growth and the importance of setting boundaries in general?
I've always been someone that I've raised my children in all of this, as I built my business and my entrepreneurial journey. And if I had to make my kids respect my time when I was working so that I could focus and I could put food on the table, then I had to be respectful of their time. So I couldn't be working at all hours. I could not be texting with clients. I could not allow clients to text me that, either. So I don't allow clients to text me because the understanding is that it'll just be one quick question. Nope. Then put it in an email because I need to have a break from you. You know what I mean? I cannot deal with that from you. So that is very important to me. And, I belong to me first. And I have to take care of my children. I have to be there and help support my mom and do all of those things. But I can do none of that if I have an empty cup. So, and people will say, but you know what? It's a once in a lifetime event and it's so important. So I'm a once in a lifetime person. And that is not me bragging. That is not me. That's not me being arrogant. But if I drop dead tomorrow, my clients might send flowers, but next week they'll be looking for another wedding planner.
Listen.
They will be looking for another wedding planner. They won't be coming to raise these kids. They won't be helping them through. So my obligation is to them first. We can be friendly, but we don't need to be friends until after the event. So you don't need that much access to me. And I charge for access to me. Oh. Even my kids, I charge them for access. Like, hey, you got some fruit snacks? What do you want to talk about? And not them cheap mott ones, them Welch's ones. Come back when you got the good stuff. But it's always important to me that, and I saw it too, where over the pandemic, I was trying so hard to be everything to everybody and to make sure that nothing fell apart here because the industry just completely blew up, that I was working around the clock. And I was just so exasperated sometimes when they would ask me something or when they needed something. And I'm like, I am never going to chance to redo this with them. So when clients tell me, well, I won't have a chance to do my wedding over and it's got to be perfect. And I think I feel the same way about my children. I feel the same way about my life. I won't get a do-over with them. So to be the best for them, I need my time off. And then that also makes me the best for you in the time that I have allotted for you. So when you don't set those boundaries, what you're saying is that I don't value myself. Let's just be real about it. I don't value myself. Because I think that everybody else needs me more than I need myself, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. If you do not put gas in a car, it is not going to go anywhere. If you do not refuel yourself, if you don't pour into yourself, then we can't go anywhere with you. And I think that is very important for people to understand. When people say, oh yeah, I'm out hustling and I'm doing all of these things, and I talk to my clients, I'm not impressed by that. I'm not impressed by that at all. Like, ooh, child. Well, may the good Lord be with you, because it could never be me. It could never be me.
I'm still taking notes about it. When you don't set boundaries, you don't value yourself. And that couldn't be more true, because when I was planning, I didn't text my clients. I like receipts.
Same.
If you lose your phone and the cloud doesn't back it up and you promise somebody something,
yep,
that's a problem. But I can always access my email. Yep. So I needed it in writing, and I also use it to keep track of what needs to happen. And so, yeah, you can use certain apps to text them if that's your business model, but we're friends afterwards.
Absolutely.
You're paying me for a service, and I treat my business like a business. And so we're not texting because I need my team. Also, when you grow, you want your team to be able to access some of the conversations and things happening, and not be like, here's my phone and let me screenshot you to text it. No, we're not doing that. Email.
No, absolutely not. No. And, I had one client who said, well, I really need for you to readjust your scheduling with us, because I'm like, oh, well, this sounds like a new invoice. But she's like, the bride, she gets off at 6 and she gets off at 5. And she's not going to get home until 6. And then she wants to have dinner with her fiance and kind of relax. And then she wants to get into the wedding planning. So we were hoping that we could be at your office at about 7:30, 8:30 or so. And I was like,
Say what?
I was like, so let me ask you a quick question. Brad looks super healthy. And she was like, yeah, she is. I'm like, I thought so. So I'm pretty sure that when she goes in for her annual, her GYN is not sitting by them stirrups at 7:30 at night waiting for her to show up. I am almost 10,000% sure he's not. So if she wants to see him, she makes an appointment. She makes time to go see them because she values his time. He has taught her, or she has taught her, to value their time. She either takes off, or if they have Saturday appointments, they do that. Why do you think I'm any different? Why do you think that somehow there has been some sort of misconception or miscommunication along the way where you feel like you are more important than me having dinner with my children or me soaking in the bathtub? You feel like you have bought that. And that's why I've told people, you can be at service and not be a servant to clients. That is extremely important. Like you secured a service, not a person. So, and that's why I put my office hours everywhere. You will see it for email signatures, website, proposals, contracts, everywhere. So you can never say, oh, I didn't know. They are everywhere. And you seem to be okay with that when you endorsed them and you said you wanted to work with me. So, I mean, no, but I will not, as for me in my house, I will not be waiting up for you at no damn 8:30 to talk to you about linens. No, hard pass.
And it's hard. It's hard for professionals when they get started. They want to be of service. They want to be everywhere. And I was guilty of that, and I made myself available. But then I went to a conference and I found that the people that were really killing it, they had boundaries. And, it made me think of a higher level in luxury. Certain stores, they close at certain hours. And then
exactly,
if I still want what they're offering, I show up within those hours.
Exactly.
And it's fine. They're not losing money. Look, let's use Chick-fil-A. They closed on Sunday, but we will show up on Monday within the
Monday morning, beating them doors down, trying to get every piece of chicken out of there. Every single piece. Yes, absolutely.
Treat your business like a business and set the boundaries. The office hours have been are so crucial.
But Jamira, for them, I won't even say that that's a boundary. That is a value, right? They don't work on the Sabbath. That is their value.
Love it.
You have to value yourself. Me taking care of me is a value. Me making sure that I'm the best wherever I show up is a value. So that means I have to slow down. I have to regenerate. I have to do all of those things in order to show up. So that's a value. And again, brings us right back. You have to value yourself. You absolutely have to value yourself.
Terrica, when's the book coming out? Because I literally got 3 pages just on Terrica quotes.
The Terrica-isms.
Yes, that I plan to type up and share when this goes live, because it's just gem after gem after gem being dropped that are #facts, but we forget. Me taking care of me is a value in the sense of like that's so important, and we don't value ourselves. And this show is all about living well-rounded, which means taking care of yourself because you're a part of the unit.
Yep.
And we don't do that as moms and business owners, and even our friends who have 9 to 5s. It's a lot of work, but you have to value yourself and carve out time for yourself if you are going to be everything to everybody as well.
Absolutely. Again, everybody to whom it matters. That's what I tell my students. Don't try to be everywhere. Be where it matters, because you could very well be showing off for a bunch of people who don't care about you. Let's just be super clear about that. So you have to know who you are, and you have to know who you want to be somebody to, so that when you do show up, you will show off and it will be appreciated. It will be valued. So yes, in addition to valuing yourself and believing in yourself like it's a religion, you have to make sure that you do have those things, like you said, carved out so that you can take time with you, so that people don't overstep those boundaries when they're like, nope, it's Sunday, can't reach them. It's after hours, I can't reach them. Like sometimes you got to retrain yourself. I had to retrain myself. Like I had to set up the phone system to where it will not ring at 6 o'clock. You will have to call at 5:59 in order to get in. You will have better luck throwing up the bat signal and Batman coming than getting through our phone systems. I will have to shut off my email on the weekend. So I am not even tempted
Right.
to look at it. And it's been, it's so freeing. Like that's how I got to watch Bridgerton. That's how I got to watch Hollywood. That's how I ordered like 50,000 candles in 1 week. It's been amazing because you know what? I missed her. I really missed her. And I missed the way that she laughed at things. I missed the way that she saw the beauty in certain things, how she got so inspired by certain things. I missed how she liked exploring different places. I missed how the sun felt on her face. I missed her. And I said I was never going to miss her again. Not for anybody's check, not for anybody's stage, not for anybody's mentions at all. So yeah, I will never be put in a place where I have to miss myself again.
It reminds me of the episode that I did with Mindy Weiss when she was talking about in this pandemic, and she realized, like she said, if it feels uncomfortable to laugh, then that's a problem. She was like, I didn't realize that I was on go, go, go mode. That I have time to actually laugh and enjoy the people around me because I was bubble of just hustle mode. And I was like, wow,
so true.
You're so timid and stressed and just, then you need to figure it out, take some time away, staycation, something so that you don't miss out on, your.
Oh my God, Jamar, seriously, who gave us this, like, this overinflated sense of if it's not me, it won't get done. Or if I don't do it, then nothing will get done or it won't be the best. Like I am the be all and end all. When if you just sit down, it'll still be there in an hour.
So true.
It'll still be there tomorrow. It's not going anywhere. So we have this inflated sense of self-importance where we're like, oh, only I can do it, or I have to do this. I have to hustle, or the competition will get this, or if I don't do this, I'll be behind. When you know what? It's just like DJ Khaled says, congratulations, you played yourself. The only person that is lacking, the only thing that gets snagged and left behind is us at the end of it.
Always. And I'm learning that too. Like, it just needs to be done. It's not always going to be perfect if I ask someone else to do it, but it frees up space and it's mentally, out of my head. It's done, and done is better than perfect. So if you have to bring other people in to help out or to get it done, roll with it so you can move on to bigger and better things and not be stuck on the nonsense.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
So important. And so, Terrica, you manage your wedding planning business, your kick-ass coach, mentor, as we all can tell here, and you just give so much to our industry. And so I'm curious to know, what is your definition of living well-rounded?
Oh, wow. Again, just taking time for me. At first, I always thought that the right answer was, making sure that my kids were taken care of and making sure my home is great. But no, it's taking care of me. I can push myself to be there for my kids, even when I'm exhausted, because of course that's what a mom is going to do. But I'm not going to show up as my best self if I am not taking care of me. And that's a lesson that I want them to learn as well. So in taking care of myself, I have become more well-rounded because it's like I'm exploring books that I wanted to read again. I'm playing games that I have. As of today, madam, I have a 93-day streak on Duolingo.
Okay.
So I'm killing it. So I try to do like 5 minutes a day on Duolingo. And that wasn't even because, I'm super adamant about speaking Spanish. I know enough to get me in and out of trouble. But that was just a way for me to get out of my inbox, for me to get away from the kids. I love the language. And that was just a way for me to pour into myself. The same thing with my games, the same thing with my books, the same thing with my music, the same thing with my meditations and my manifestations. All of these make me better, which will in turn make me a better mother, which in turn will make me a more compassionate mother, which will make me a stronger mother, a stronger daughter, a stronger friend, stronger, whatever it is that I have to be. So yeah, I've been super adamant about taking care of me. And you know what, girl, not just even the superficial, though I do get myself flowers every Sunday, or the bubble baths and all those things. It's dealing with the shit I don't want to deal with. It is dealing with my triggers. It is dealing with things that I thought I had not dealt with yet. It is dealing with my insecurities. It is confronting and facing things that have been past hurts before as well. So that's another way that show up for me.
I love that. Finding things, finding hobbies, and actually taking the time finally to just work on things that you know you need to work on so that it makes you a better person.
Absolutely.
That is so good. And so with that, what are you most looking forward to in this next season of your life?
I am so happy with the way that things are. Right? Could they be better? Yes. But could things always be better? Of course. But I am so happy with the way that things are elevating and like seeing my children do well in school in the middle of a pandemic. My son has autism and he's nonverbal, and seeing how he's grown with strides, with picking up new signs and new work that he's done because I've been able to be here with him and do the schoolwork with him. It has made me appreciate life so much more. Like, for example, I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. I got sick and tired of buying those damn mini bite muffins that cost $3,000 and it's got like 4 muffins in the bag and they go through them in an hour.
Yes.
Girl, listen.
My son, my 6-year-old.
Oh my gosh, it's stressful. So I bought a $3 muffin pan and it made me the best mom in the world. That was the mother I always wanted to be. Yes. I always wanted to be the mom that baked and had cooked warm cookies when my kids came home. And I was the mom that was like, listen, everything you need to reach is on the bottom shelf of the pantry. I had a wedding yesterday. Don't talk to me. See you later. But that $3 muffin pan made me the mom that I always wanted to be. Well, the $3 muffin pan and the fact that I'm cheap, because I said I wasn't buying the mini bites anymore. I just make them myself. But it made me slow down. So I am looking forward to so many more moments like that with my kids where they get to see me doing stuff that they love and that I love and growing with them. Seeing so many people grow themselves too throughout this pandemic, and especially in more places where we've got Zoom webinars and Clubhouse, you get to see the growth with people and seeing, you know, their aspirations. And I've got my own VIP membership and I'm seeing how my members are growing and what they're aspiring for. I'm excited about that too. So while life is not perfect right now, I love my life and I am super excited to see what's going to happen next. I have no idea, but I'm super excited about it.
I'm loving the $3 muffin analogy in the sense like a $3 muffin pan and it's baked with love.
Exactly. Which is what I always wanted. Oh, that $3 muffin pan made me the best mom ever. So yeah.
That is so awesome. And so on a personal level, what are you saying no to in order to say yes to what matters most?
Didn't we just talk about this earlier? I told my team, I only want to talk to 2 people a day. That's it.
And I made the cut. Yes.
You made the cut. You know, I said, make sure this happens. Make sure this happens. When you try to be everything to everybody, you become nothing to nobody because you're not showing up as your best self. And they only get a piece of your magic. They don't get the everything that makes you you. But when you set parameters on it and you're able to, you know, really define, again, boundaries, that helps. It helps you show up. So yeah, that's what I say no to. I say no to limited things where I have to talk to people because that's a lot of energy for me. Because keep in mind, from about 8:30 until about 12, I am teaching at home.
Right.
And then, you know, I've got Clubhouse and, you know, podcaster interviews and Zoom calls and all the things too. So as opposed to trying to be that boss babe, that fierce mom, nope, I just say 2 and then I'm done.
No, that's fair. And it works. And you're right. When you're coaching people, pouring into them, showing up, it is a lot of work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally get that. So let's have a little bit of fun. We're going to do rapid fire. And then you're going to be the first. I'm introducing this or that. So we're going to write.
Ooh, okay.
Like a game show. She's ready.
I'm so ready.
So, Terrica, you're stuck on an island. What are 3 things you must have and you cannot take your kids?
Oh, they weren't coming anyway.
I love it.
I'll bring a picture of them. But oh gosh, 3 things I have to have. My Spotify playlist, some rum, and a good book. I think that'll do me fine.
That's good.
That does me good.
Yeah, I love it. So coffee or tea?
Tea.
And when you were little and someone asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? Is your answer, you're laughing.
Queen.
I love it. I mean, it makes sense. You're there. You made it.
God, there it is. So telling. So very. My mother should have known back then. She really should have known. She should have done something back then.
Oh, man. Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix all day.
And as a self-proclaimed tech geek, what programs or software are you currently loving?
You know what? I said that I was going to remember the name of it, but I do not remember the name of it. But it is it's a extension for Chrome that allows you to snooze your tabs. Because I was one of those people who would constantly
I know what it is.
3,000 tabs open, but now I can snooze my tabs to pop up for when I'm ready to deal with them.
Is it the monument thing?
Oh, no. Oh, my God. I love that too. The momentum dash. Oh, my gosh. The
momentum. Yes.
Oh, my gosh. So those two, yes, I don't think I can live without. Hold on. You know what? I'm going to try to find this for you because it is so.
Okay. Yeah. I want to know what these are and I'm going to share in the show notes.
So yes, momentum dash, I absolutely love because I put all of my aspirations, my manifestations, and all of those things in there. It works with the Pomodoro productivity technique. It hooks up to all of your project management apps. It keeps you on target. But this thing here, oh my gosh, what is this? It's called TabSnooze. Oh my gosh, how easy is that? What is wrong with me? Yes, it's called TabSnooze.
TabSnooze. Okay. I'm going to link it in the show notes so you guys can check it out. And so what is your least favorite chore?
Oh my God, all of them. Like I keep waiting for the maid to show up and it's like, she's here and she sucks and she needs to be fired, but.
You're here 24/7.
Every single one of them.
What is a misconception that people have about you?
That I'm mean. And I'm not. I'm not mean. I just mean business. That's all.
There's another one. Another quote. If someone were to play you in a movie, who would you want it to be?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I don't even know who anybody is anymore. Like I really don't. I have no idea who anybody is anymore.
We can come back to that one.
Yeah, I've got no clue.
That's always hard. I've been asked that question and I'm like, sure.
Because I was still thinking about people like back in my day, like how they were then. So I'll say a name and they're like, who?
My child does that with me now. Like, who is that? I'm like, you've never heard of? No.
Never? Oh God, get out.
Yeah. And last question, what is your guilty pleasure?
Oh, what is my guilty pleasure? Okay, you know what I think it is? I was always a fan of choose your own adventure books when I was a kid. And so now one of my guilty pleasures is a game called Choices. My teenage daughter got me hooked on this when she was in high school. And it's a game, but it's like a storybook that you make your own choices. And so I'm like super addicted to it now. And that's like one of my great escapes too. So yeah, I think my guilty pleasure is Choices.
Okay. Now I'm going to have to check all these resources out. And so Terrica, I knew our time together would be so much fun and legit insightful, all these notes that I cannot wait to share.
Oh, thank you.
And so I want to make sure our friends out there can stay connected with you and all things Terrica Inc. So where may our well-rounders find you on the web?
So you can find me on the web at terricainc.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Cocktail Terrica. And if you are on Clubhouse, you can find me as just Terrica there. I think that's everywhere. Again, not on LinkedIn because it's nothing but cobwebs over there. So
yeah, but you are definitely providing so much insight on Instagram and Clubhouse. So guys, make sure you connect with her there. Thank you, friends, for hanging out with Terrica and I. Make sure you are subscribed to the show by hitting the subscribe button. Leave us a 5-star rating and a quick review if you enjoyed this interview. We would appreciate it so much. And until next time, stay safe, stay positive, and focus on what matters most. Bye, friends.
Friends, thanks for kicking it with us this week. Remember to subscribe so you're notified when a new episode airs. I'd love it if you leave us a review and share this goodness with your squad. Until next time, seek a well-rounded life and remember to focus on what matters most.